Hello Pittsburgh Steelers fans. I'm Lucas Almeida and welcome to the Acereros Brazil channel. This is your place to stay up to date with everything happening with our beloved team, straight from the NFL, with fresh news, exclusive analysis, and of course, a lot of passion for the Steelers. And in today's video, we have a controversial and surprising topic. George Pickens seems finally happy, but far from Pittsburgh. Yes, fans, the wide receiver is now wearing the Dallas Cowboys jersey and, from all appearances, is enjoying a new phase in his career. Let's break down everything that happened and what this means for the Steelers' future. But before we go any further, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. That helps us a lot to keep bringing you high-quality content and spreading the word about the black and gold all across Brazil. Let's get straight to the point. George Pickens' departure is still making waves among fans, analysts, and even within the NFL itself. The player, who arrived with high expectations and showed flashes of brilliance in Pittsburgh, is now part of the Cowboys roster. And the most curious part is that, according to reports, Pickens seems lighter, more cheerful, and even more engaged during practices. During the OTAs in Dallas, star receiver CeeDee Lamb didn't hold back his praise for his new teammate. According to him, Pickens hasn't stopped smiling since he arrived, a statement that caught the attention of Steelers fans, who were used to seeing a more reserved, sometimes even frustrated player on the field. So, what changed? The answer may lie in the environment. Sources close to the team indicate that Pickens was no longer happy with his role in the Steelers' offense. The arrival of a new quarterback, changes in the offensive scheme, and especially the signing of DK Metcalf made his future in Pittsburgh even more complicated. For a young player full of personality like Pickens, sharing the spotlight wasn't a very appealing option. General Manager Omar Khan handled the entire negotiation discreetly, as usual. But the signs were there. The Steelers were looking to change the profile of their receiving core, something more aligned with Metcalf's physical and straightforward style. The result was a trade with the Cowboys, which gave the Steelers a third-round pick in 2026 and a fifth-round pick in 2027. For some, a good deal. For others, a low price for such a promising talent. Now, Pickens is experiencing what many are calling a honeymoon with Dallas. And on the Steelers' side, a new chapter begins. With Metcalf stepping in as WR1, the team is betting on a more mature passing attack, strong in the air and with clear leadership. Metcalf brings more than stats. He brings attitude, experience, and a winning mindset. In addition to him, Calvin Austin III continues to develop as a fast and versatile weapon, capable of stretching the field and making explosive plays. Van Jefferson is also expected to take on a bigger role, especially in short and intermediate routes, becoming a key player on third downs. This combination gives Russell Wilson's offense a new identity. More cohesive, more efficient, and with immediate potential. And it doesn't stop there. Pickens' departure also freed up cap space, something essential for reinforcing other areas of the roster. Rumors are already circulating that the Steelers may be targeting a veteran tight end or offensive line help, both areas in need of depth and experience to keep the offense competitive. Of course, it's not all good news. Some fans are still feeling the loss of Pickens, especially given his high ceiling and the highlight moments he delivered in his first 2 seasons. He was young, explosive, and had great chemistry with the fans. But in the locker room, the atmosphere wasn't great. Reports point to friction with the coaching staff, trouble adapting to the new playbook, and even disagreements with teammates. For the Steelers' front office, that weighed heavily. And it became clear, it was time to turn the page. Among NFL analysts, most see the trade as bold but necessary. According to journalist Adam Schefter, the Steelers made a decision based on immediate impact and locker room stability. Something crucial in a year that could determine Russell Wilson's future as the starting quarterback in Pittsburgh. In the end, this move shows that the Steelers are in win-now mode. Trading a young talent for a proven veteran like DK Metcalf is a clear statement of intent. Pittsburgh doesn't just want to rebuild. It wants to compete. And it wants to compete now. So, what do you think, Steelers fans? Was it the right decision? Will George Pickens shine in Dallas? Is Metcalf the reinforcement we needed? Leave your opinion in the comments, because your voice is always the most important one here on the channel. Let's be clear. Trevon Diggs is undoubtedly one of the most talented and promising cornerbacks in the NFL in recent years. His ability to intercept passes, his aggressive coverage, and his athleticism have made him a frequent name in conversations about the league's best corners. However, his current situation with the Dallas Cowboys has raised many questions, both for the Texas team and for potential suitors, including the Pittsburgh Steelers. After signing a 5-year, $97 million contract extension, it seemed Diggs was destined to be a key piece in the Cowboys' defense for a long time. But the reality has been different. In the last 34 games his team has played, Trevon missed no less than 21. 2 consecutive injuries to the same knee, first one that sidelined him for much of the season and then a relapse, have set off all the alarms. In the NFL, where competition is fierce and patience limited, a player's durability is almost as important as his talent. And that doubt about his physical condition has led many to question whether it's worth keeping Diggs on the roster or if Dallas should take advantage of the moment to get something in return before his value drops even further. Some expert analysts, like Brent Sobleski from Bleacher Report, have even suggested the Cowboys seriously consider trading Trevon Diggs, even if the return is a low draft pick, like a 6th-round selection. This might sound shocking to those who only remember the 2021 season when Diggs was named first-team All-Pro, leading the NFL with 11 interceptions and being a true ball hawk. But this recommendation comes from Dallas' need to manage their salary cap and avoid risking more on a player who might never regain his level or could get injured again. Additionally, if Diggs is traded after June 1st, the Cowboys could save over $9.6 million in cap space. No small amount for a team planning significant moves, including key contract extensions like Micah Parsons. So, what does all this have to do with Pittsburgh? Much more than it seems at first glance. The Steelers, despite having a solid defense, face clear challenges in their secondary. The departure of Levi Wallace, combined with Patrick Peterson being increasingly limited by injuries and age, has left a noticeable need for depth and talent at cornerback. Trevon Diggs represents an option that, despite its risks, could immediately raise the defensive ceiling for the team. Yes, Pittsburgh has Joey Porter Jr., a young player with a bright future who is already showing star potential. But beyond Porter Jr., the secondary is still full of uncertainties. Corey Trice is returning from injury, Peterson is moving more toward safety, and the rest of the group is still very young and inexperienced in the league. Imagine what having Trevon Diggs in that secondary could mean for the Steelers. He wouldn't just add talent but also unique instincts and aggression. Under Terrell Austin's defensive system, which combines man coverage with creative zone schemes and strategic mixes, Diggs could capitalize on every opportunity to create turnovers, something Pittsburgh desperately needs. Remember, in his best season, Diggs not only led the NFL in interceptions but also showed the ability to change the course of games with his clutch plays. If he recovers his physical form, the impact on Pittsburgh's defense could be immediate and far-reaching. Of course, this isn't a simple move. If Dallas is really willing to trade Diggs for something as low as a 6th-round pick in the 2026 draft, as some rumors suggest, it would be a gift for the Steelers. But reality is usually different when a lot of money and talent are involved. A more reasonable offer might include a conditional 4th-round pick that could rise to a 3rd round if Diggs plays at least 14 games next season. Also, to balance the package, Pittsburgh could include a young rotational player, perhaps a cornerback like James Pierre or a backup linebacker, to add value and convince Dallas it's a fair deal. A key point in this equation is the salary cap. Diggs still has 4 years left on his contract, but his base salary for 2025 is manageable. This makes him a viable piece for the Steelers, who also need to watch their cap but could absorb this investment if they believe it's the difference between a good secondary and an exceptional one. Plus, with Micah Parsons' extension getting closer for the Cowboys, freeing cap space is a priority for them, which increases the likelihood they'll want to move Diggs and be open to negotiations. For the Steelers, bringing in Diggs would not only mean strengthening the present but also thinking about the future projection. Imagine a secondary combining the young and explosive talent of Joey Porter Jr., the experience and versatility of Minkah Fitzpatrick at safety, and the arrival of a cornerback capable of making big plays like Trevon Diggs. That combination could become a real nightmare for opposing quarterbacks and a fundamental pillar for Pittsburgh's aspirations to compete at the highest level in the coming years. Of course, it's not all roses. The risk of acquiring a player with recent serious injury history is significant. But in the NFL, aggressive moves like this often mark the difference between being a contender and falling short. If Omar Khan and Pittsburgh's management decide to bet on Trevon Diggs, they'll have to be prepared to manage the situation carefully, work closely with the medical staff, and ensure the player can regain his best form. And now here comes the juicy part. What do you think, Steelers fan? Would you like to see Trevon Diggs defending the black and gold uniform? Do you think the risk is worth it for a player who could be the perfect complement to Joey Porter Jr. and Minkah Fitzpatrick? Or would you prefer to bet only on the young talent they already have? What would you offer in a possible trade to bring Diggs? A third-round pick? A rotational player? Or would you rather save those resources for other goals? Leave your comment below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all the Steelers and NFL news. Moves like this can change the course of a franchise, and we want you to be part of the conversation.